The Brewers lead it 9-8 in a game that should be played in the upside down.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call Studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamora. Here's Jen Latta.
Stomp your feet, clap your hands. You're part of the team sitting in the stands. Come see what's brewing. Come see what the good times are.
It occurred to me yesterday, as I was watching some of the content rolling out of our buddies in the afternoon, that they were much more angry and frustrated with the Brewers' recent performances than we were, gang. Like, Ben Brust almost bursted a vessel, like an eye vessel. Like, you know when you're sick in college and pop. I thought for sure that was going to happen yesterday as I was watching on the stream. Are we not sufficiently upset about the situation the Brewers find themselves in? I guess I'll speak for myself, guys. I think this has been a remarkable, incredible, extraordinary season for our Milwaukee Brewers. So while I am disappointed in the lack of production, the struggles that they have had over the last two games against the Dodgers, I'm not sitting here, throwing out the baby with the bathwater, to use an old phrase my mom used to say. Am I wrong in that? Should I be more angry? Should I be more fired up and more frustrated about where we are, Gabe?
I'm not there yet because, again, there's still now, again, to me, this could all end very quickly tonight. If they don't win tonight, then, yeah, it's over, down 3-0. But if they win tonight, kind of like, I don't know, the Blue Jays went out and dominated after their offense looked pretty bad at home in their first games and lost, and then they explode for 13 runs last night against the Mariners on the road. Yeah, right now, I saw there was a photo that was posted yesterday. I don't even know who posted it, but the couple Brewers players were throwing a football around on the field there at Dodger Stadium. Looks like Caleb Durbin was running around against Sal Frelick, and there were people. But you should be working on your hitting. What do you want to? What do you want them to do? Swing until their hands bleed?
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna help. Don't think that's gonna help if they can't feel their hands when they come to the plate tonight. Yeah, they can be relaxed. They can have some fun. I'm not quite there yet.
Can I say something here?
What's that?
If I were to bet, I'd bet they've been working on hitting. I bet they had taken some swings earlier.
Nope. I bet before. That's the only thing they did yesterday. They split up the teams, and they played a two-hand touch game in the outfield of Dodger Stadium. That's all they did yesterday, Joshy.
Okay.
No batting practice. Probably didn't watch any film. Have the iPad out. Go over any sort of scouting report on Tyler Glass. No, I bet that didn't happen. Just football.
No.
It is always surprising, Shu, when people think that they care more about the outcomes than the players whose livelihood it actually is.
Well, you want the truth? To some of them, it kind of is.
Well, true. Yeah, I mean, you've played with guys who's not
I'm telling you. Yeah. I mean, some guys really, really, I would say when it comes to football, maybe not even half.
What did you just do there?
Oh, sound effect action.
But to answer your original point about, or question about the idiots in the afternoon.
To be fair, I didn't say that.
But
it was
we were guarded. I remember talking about it. We were guarded coming into this thing. We're like, PTSD. This isn't the first time this has happened. We've had great teams that lose in first, second, third round of the playoffs. Right? I mean, we were all guarded.
I think we're all guarded because it's the bleeping Dodgers.
No. No.
That's
Do you not remember this conversation where we listed off Packers against San Francisco, Packers against the Giants, Packers against Tampa Bay, Wisconsin in the Final Four against Duke?
You specifically wanted to have that conversation before Game 5.
I was guarded going into this thing.
Yeah, and now you're
hey,
projecting it on everybody else.
I'll go 75% in. I'm not going 100. I'm sorry.
I feel like I have not been guarded. I have dove headfirst into this thing, recognizing full well because it's the playoffs that my heart's probably going to get broken. Because,
Well,
again, that's what being a sports fan is. One team gets to win the championship every year.
Do you want to hear what about 3 of my friends told me yesterday?
I want to feel everything that there is to feel, whether it is good, bad, or otherwise. I want to feel it all as a fan, especially with this team.
My buddies said, yeah, they love Gabe's passion, but he is a toad. He's like the horse in the Kentucky Derby. La, 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 la. I can't see you to the side of me. You have a little bit of blinders, Gabe. You must admit.
When it comes to what? Because I said that there's 2 games left. Like the Dodgers have only won 2 games. You want me to go, yep, it's over. Don't even watch tonight. Watch Party of Pato. Probably shouldn't be even tuning in on our YouTube page.
Well, now we are resembling the show in the afternoon. So there we go. Look at that, guys. Only took 7 minutes.
If that's what you
Are you still all in? Are you still all in?
Of course I am.
I'm not.
You've never been all in.
It's fair. Fair.
But I'm all in. Yes, I am all in. I cannot wait for this game tonight because this team has responded. And maybe they don't respond tonight. Maybe the bats go quiet and Tyler Glasnow shoves the way that Yamamoto and Snell did before him. That's certainly a possibility. But I'm not giving up on this team
Gabe,
yet.
if that does happen, then what do you say the next day? Do you say again? Do you say again?
What, I mean, at 3-0 on the road, it's probably over. But do you want me to not watch? Should I not be watching Game 4 if they're down 3-0?
What are you looking for out of us here?
To agree with me.
But we never didn't agree with you.
Jen?
I think that there's a sweet spot we're trying to hit here, folks, which is, yes, we understand that the backs are against the wall. Yes, we understand it's less than ideal to be down 2 games going on the road to one of the most I don't want to say prolific, but the roster that they have assembled in LA is pretty freaking prolific, right? Like, that's a good call. Didn't we used to say that about the San Francisco 49ers as well, that they had assembled the Avengers? It does feel a little like baseball's Avengers. But I also think that, to Gabe's point, this team has shown us throughout the year that they can answer the call, answer the bell, step up to the plate, and make things happen even when it feels unlikely. And so there's a part of me, again, if we believe in Murphy, if we believe in these guys, if we have enjoyed at any moment the ride that they have taken us on this season, then I think the thing we should do for them is believe. I think we should get behind them and be like, this is the team that's capable of doing it. Yeah. I keep reminding myself, guys, every time I do the whole, and I said this yesterday, I got the little voice over here, I got the little voice over here, and they are certainly arguing, competing, debating. I think about how there's only 4 teams left, right? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, but you know when
NLCS. Wait, you thought there was like a 5th team that was like
NLCS,
waiting,
ALCS, yes, boom,
potentially
to go
waiting in the wings. But Chewy, I can't deny that the first 2 games were bad.
Yeah,
it was bad. I was at Game 1. It was terrible. Joshy told us how awful it was to be at Game 2 after the home run by Jackson Chourio. Like, I'm not going to pretend that wasn't bad.
Let's be clear. We had a great time.
But you know when I put my safety net up?
The results weren't great.
You know when I put my safety net up? You know when I put my safety net up? When Buster only said
Dodgers
4 games, Dodgers. Because I like listening to really, really smart people. I mean, you guys are smart.
Then what the hell are you doing on this show?
Yeah, and what are you doing?
Well, I have to balance things out.
Which is also why we bring people like Buster Olney on the show,
Buster Olney, Adam Schefter, things of that nature.
You're familiar with the curve concept, right?
I think we're caught in, and you had this conversation with Craig, and it was confounding to you. We're not here talking about the Brewers in search of being right. We are being fans of them and rooting for them and hoping for the best.
Being right trumps my fandom. I'm sorry, it just does.
Is that because you're never right at home?
Probably.
Got to get wins somewhere.
Just breaking down the psychology of everyone on the show this morning.
I'm on a bad losing streak, too. Bad.
Come on. I feel like you had a win recently.
So she drilled me in the nose last night, right? You know when the head kind of gets in the way and
in the way of what?
She backs in and drills me in the nose, right? I thought I broke my nose. So
are we talking about what I think we're talking about?
The context here is very important. You've given us none.
It was leading up to it, but that shut it all down. That was the problem.
Wait. What were you more upset about then? It not happening or the nose?
Well, of course.
All right.
First one. I mean, I played hurt before. Not a big deal. You know.
You don't need your nose to do that.
But here's the kicker, right? Here's the kicker. I wake up at about 4 and she's gone. Gone. She's in the other bedroom because she said I was snoring like she uses the word banshee. Well, I'm like, you drilled me in the nose last night, and I get up and I blew my nose and it's full of, oh, you're going to use that for an excuse? So I lose. Yes. To answer your question, I lose too much at home. I got to win somewhere else.
You lost more than once last night, it sounds.
Yeah, big time.
Somehow went 0-2.
I think it's 0-3, actually. I think you got the nose. I think you got the rejection. And I think you got the blame.
But it ain't over yet.
Hey, I missed the third game, Jen. That's a great call.
Yeah, but I got good stuff coming tonight on the mound.
Just like the Brewers, right?
Well, you going with an opener, or you just kind of try to ride the starter?
I got nice New York strips. I got twice
baked. Good opener.
I got a good bottle of wine. I'm good to go. I got the game on at 6.
Just gonna ride the starter like there's not a euphemism happening there. Speaking of the Brewers, I can't think of any other way to get out of that situation. Jose Quintana said he is ready to go today. Now, that is not a confirmation that he will be the starter in today's game, but he is expecting to pitch in Game 3 today against the Dodgers. Gabe, before we get to Jason Wilde here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, what would your plan for pitching be? I guess my gut is I wouldn't be shocked. Not saying this is what I would do. I'm trying to read the Murphy sort of playbook here. I wouldn't be shocked if they go starter again and then roll a guy like Quintana in to try to go the bulk of the middle before trying to hand it over to the bullpen. What do you think will happen?
I feel like the starter that they have typically gone with has been, again, it's been Ashby for left-handed purposes. Now, McGill went out there in Game 5 because the Brewers had such an issue with the opening inning. So they went, hey, this guy's been our closer all year. He's been a lockdown guy. Let's throw him the first inning, and then Miz can take over. Quintana, I don't know how long Quintana can go. The issue with his calf injury when it happened, it's not like he could go on rehab starts down in the minor leagues to make sure his arm is in good enough shape to throw 100 pitches throughout the course of an outing. So I don't know how long he can go. But that being said, you want a lefty early because they lead off with Shohei. And I don't think going Ashby once again, I don't think you want to overdo that. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw Ashby again, maybe tomorrow leading into Miz, because the way that Miz has responded out of the bullpen has been so good. I would just start Quintana, see how long he can go, hope I can get 4, maybe 5 innings out of Quintana, and then put my bullpen plan together after
Gabe,
that.
let me ask you this. Why do they put so much on Shohei? He's one guy because their next 3 hitters are right-handed, and they're flipping good.
Yeah, but Shohei's the second best hitter on the planet. And
Behind
it's
who?
not particularly close.
Behind.
But he hasn't been very
Aaron
good this
Judge.
postseason.
Oh,
Not saying that he can't at any time, drive the ball out of the park, but this has been an underwhelming postseason for Shohei.
Yeah, I mean, his numbers are worse than Yelich. Right
I'm
now.
approaching Shohei and for the rest of the postseason as the guy who can single-handedly change a game, and I'm not going to let even his recent struggles affect that.
Shohei Ohtani, according to StatMuse, has a batting average of 147, 5 hits, 2 homers, 6 RBI, 3 runs scored in 8 games in the 2025 postseason.
Yeah.
How many walks, though?
I mean, it might be 1,000.
Also,
I know, that's the thing. He walks
they just
3 times.
They keep throwing and just pitching
also,
around
he
him.
can't hit the ball, but when he does, it's a home run, it seems.
Yep.
He's got 2 of them. So
2 of his 5 hits have left the ballpark.
yeah, so let's treat him like he can do damage every single
And again, to your point about the Avengers, what does it say about the Dodgers that Shohei Ohtani could be this ice cold and they are still rolling, right? Knocking off the Phillies and in this position against the Brewers. We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We do have Jason Wilde coming up in just a few moments. We'll break down a little bit of the action this weekend for your Green Bay Packers and the Cardinals. But we are talking Brewers this morning as they get themselves into a Game 3 situation on the road against the Dodgers. Fall in Wisconsin is pretty special, guys. You got cool nights, game days, apple orchards, even pumpkin patches. And it is also one of the best times to sell your home. Fewer homes are on the market. Buyers right now are motivated, and that will give you the advantage. Instead of waiting for the spring rush, you could be closing on your home before the first snowfall. The We Sell Group knows how to put you in the driver's seat. They've helped countless Wisconsin families move forward, and they're ready to do the same for you. Get your fall home sale started with Rob and Nick today at wesell.kw.com. That's wesell.kw.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Westbound 94 is still heavy from 27th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. On the eastbound side, we're seeing backups right through the stadium interchange to 35th Street. Still looking pretty quiet on 43 north and southbound, so yay. Northbound 41, though, a little bit backed up from about Mayfair Road all the way up to Capitol. The southbound side's heavy as usual from the county line down to Good Hope Road. Traffic is brought to you by Comfort Awnings. Extend your outdoor space with a retractable awning or screen like I did with my friends at Comfort Awnings. Custom designed to fit your home. Get your free estimate at comfortawnings.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast today, partly sunny with a slight chance for an afternoon shower, a high of 64. Tonight, slight chance of showers continue, mostly cloudy, a low of 56. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
It's Jason Wilde from Wilde & Tausch. Upgrade your industrial supply services with Lakeland Supply, your trusted ISO certified partner for custom packaging, shipping supplies, janitorial, and safety supply solutions. With over 40 years of industry excellence, Lakeland Supply is a proven one-stop source with over 95% of their products made in the U.S., and they treat their customers like family. Personalized service with a national reach. That's what Lakeland Supply does. Visit lakelandsupply.com to discover how they can make your business better.
Want your brand to turn heads and win hearts?
Captivate Exhibits can bring your brand to life by transforming lobbies, creating history walls, and beautifying facilities.
For over 32 years, Captivate has been the MVP of trade show exhibits and workplace design and fabrication. Let Captivate craft immersive branded environments that tell your story boldly, beautifully, and with purpose at events and around the office.
Score big by making your next event or your own space unforgettable. Create something legendary by getting started today at CaptivateExhibits.com.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank. Tri-City National Bank offers a full suite of personal and business banking products at more than 25 convenient locations. Open your account today at the community bank that's Milwaukee's best bank. Learn more at tcnb.com.
As the Packers gear up for their Week 7 matchup in Arizona against the Cardinals, they're preparing for two quarterbacks. Regular starter Kyler Murray missed last week's game due to injury and may miss another one this week, leaving veteran Jacoby Brissett as the option. LaFleur on the challenge, preparing for two different quarterbacks.
Both those guys have different skill sets. Obviously, Jacoby went in there and was very productive. I think it was the most productive game up to this date. And we all know the type of player that Kyler is, because he can make the on-schedule and the off-schedule.
Regardless of who's under center for Arizona, the Packers, 6.5-point favorites.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank.
Need a mortgage? Don't look far. In your backyard is where we are. Visit a Tri-City near you. Get a great rate from your hometown crew. Tri-City National Bank. Equal housing lender. NMLS 433891.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Ready, down, put.
All Packers, all the time.
He was a field-tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Brought to you by Exterior Pros. Ready to tackle your home improvement project this year? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. Visit extpros.com. Also brought to you by Lakeland Supply. Lakeland Supply is in business to make your business better. Set up a free packaging and supply chain assessment at lakelandsupply.com.
Always great to get the latest from our buddy Jason on the green and gold. Good morning, Jason. How are you doing today?
I'm great, everybody. How are you?
We are good. Varying levels of good, though, because obviously the Brewers play tonight, and I believe that as the day goes on, my stress will increase exponentially throughout the day. But so far, so good. Staying calm, taking deep breaths, all of those things. I want to ask you
back to being a fan.
I want to ask you about the quarterback situation for the Cardinals and how the Packers are approaching it. Kyler Murray, as most people know, is dealing with a foot injury. Missed some of the game, I believe, maybe the whole game against the Colts. He missed the whole game against the Colts. So how are the Packers preparing for who they might see under center this weekend?
Yeah, they're preparing for both, and they're not the same type of quarterback. So Jacoby Brissett's a different style, and obviously Kyler Murray has had a lot of success when he goes off schedule. So there are some components to both quarterbacks that they need to be prepared for. So they're working on both, but again, I don't care if Kurt Warner comes out of retirement or Neil Lomax and has to. See, I knew that's what happens when you're old. Packers with a big win over him in the 1982 playoffs after the strike-shortened season. But look, let's be honest here. This is a team that's lost 4 in a row, most of them close. I think 4 losses by a total of 9 points. This is the kind of game that the Packers, if they are who they think they are, need to show that they can go on the road. I don't care if they win by 9 points or 90 points. They need to be able to show that they can get this done, and it shouldn't matter who the quarterback is. This is a team that has certainly been in disarray at times with Jonathan Gannon rightfully ticked off about that running back or whoever that was that dropped the ball at the goal line. But the bottom line is that this is a game that they should win if they are who they think they are, and they need to make sure that they do that.
Jason, do you believe Christian Watson will be active?
So I don't, and here's why. I was talking to him yesterday, and he said something that certainly sounded to me like he was a little further away from maybe what we thought, even as we've all. And look, I have been leading the band talking about how exciting it is for him to be back. Here's the quote that he said. I think it would help to be able to stack multiple weeks of practice. I've got an idea of how I'm feeling in my head, but at the same time, I'm just relaying everything to the training staff, the doctors, and really leaving it up to them. To me, that sounded like a guy that wants to play right away, but doesn't want to have a setback, and that the medical staff wants to make sure that he's fully ready to go. So my prediction, not a report, is that he'll probably not play this week either. And then, here's the other thing that I thought was interesting.
I was going to say, did you see the article, Jason, about the players are ticked off about the surface in Pittsburgh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So does that,
look at you.
But they resodded. They just resodded it.
Which is sometimes worse, though.
Yeah. Maybe it'll be like the beach back in your day.
Jason's working through the shock of Chewy reading articles. I caught that, Jason.
Yeah. I think I'm more troubled that we're on the same page, and he literally is finishing my sentences. Paula doesn't even do that. So yeah, I did, and I read the quarterback. It's nice to see Aaron Rodgers have a strong opinion. He's so wishy-washy on so many things. That doesn't sound like an ideal circumstance to bring a guy back on either. Yeah. And to Gabe's point, and this is Chewy and I, that again being old men, but they tried to resod in winter during the stretch run of the, what was that? Was that 97?
No, it was January of 97, but the 96 season, because they had to after the Mud Bowl against San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. Right. So it was, and then it was all just sand. None of the grass took, and it was so. I know, that was almost 30 years ago now, which again was underscored for me. And I actually said this to Josh Jacobs yesterday when we were talking. Look, man, I think the world of you, but I didn't really appreciate that you had a flu game. And when I went to look up how old you were, for Jordan playing with the flu in Utah. He's like, I wasn't born yet. I'm like, yeah, that was really great. I really like that. I really like him. I can see why he's such a meaningful, significant, natural leader for that team. I mean, he's another one of those guys that he just seems to kind of hit all the right notes. And yes, when he came out and said they needed a number one wide receiver, that wasn't necessarily a popular opinion, but he has so much gravitas in that locker room that even the guys that were kind of mad about it, by the time he got done talking to them, and then by the time they drafted Matthew Golden, he was kind of able to say, might have had a point there. So anyway, I would be concerned about that on the Christian Watson front as well. But again, no one is actually saying what the timeline is. I'm just telling you that based on what he said yesterday, I am skeptical on him playing on Sunday in Arizona.
Very quickly, Gabe, before we get to your question, Jason, I know I've told this story before. The guys are well familiar with it, but on the off chance that people out there haven't heard it, when Nick Saban learned that I cover the Packers, he was talking to me about Josh Jacobs, and he said that he was the last guy that they recruited out of that class, and he said he had no idea. He never would have guessed that he would have emerged as not only the leader on his team, on the Tide at that time, but also a leader on the Raiders and now a leader on the Packers because he just didn't see it from him. So it just goes to show how much a guy can evolve, or maybe how even the guys that we think are really, really good at identifying that type of talent sometimes miss. I love that story about Josh Jacobs.
I better get. Are you going to connect me with Nick Saban so you can? Well, I suppose you'd have him on your show before you'd have him on my show. But I would love to talk about him more with Nick Saban. So I'm sure you've got his number.
Certainly can make that contact for you, Jason.
Our conversations with Jason Wildey brought to you by Lakeland Supply. They're in business to make your business better. Set up a free packaging supply chain assessment at lakelandsupply.com. So I've been trying to work through, Jason, in my head, the lack of aggressiveness and the cushion that the linebackers and corners have seemingly been giving over the last couple of games. Because teams are getting rid of the ball quicker, and the Packers seemingly haven't made that adjustment to try to take away some of that underneath stuff, presumably because they're afraid of getting beat over the top with great wide receivers like T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, and the speed that Pickens presented down in Dallas. But how come that wasn't the case against Detroit? Because Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams pretty quick and fast themselves. So so how did we go from they could be aggressive against those guys to they can't be aggressive then, and now can they be aggressive against Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride?
So I don't know, and I know Tausch hates it when I say that. But what I can tell you is if you would be so kind as to craft, really put some thought into it. I know you're a busy guy, but if you would like to craft a question, kind of using what you just asked me as the starting point, I'm happy to ask Jeff Hafley that today.
Okay.
And I would much rather have Jeff Hafley, try and explain that because and he's great at that kind of thing. Not as great at fourth quarter defense lately, but great at answering my questions. So I would love to hear how he would answer that because I don't know what the philosophy is behind it. I'll be honest. I'm having an issue with my NFL Plus account, so I've not watched Sunday's game back, and I'm a little irritated. There's an email out there. It says a strongly worded email.
I'm sure it's right at the top. It might even go straight to Roger Goodell, Jason. I think you got a good chance of getting this rectified.
I feel like I should send it to Jordy Nelson.
Yes, and Jordy's getting stuff done
now on this kind of stuff, man. Yeah, Brian Branch. Not only that, I'm going to give you an extra day of a suspension because you play for the Lions. I will be happy to ask him that. Just help me not look stupid, and that's all I can ask for.
Jason, what are you hearing, if anything, about the trades that are out there? These it's like, I guess Jeremy Fowler has thrown out some names. Do you feel like the Packers are in a position right now where they would make an in-season trade?
Well, I'm kind of torn on this because I saw something yesterday about that they've gotten calls on Rashan Gary, which, again, at first you're like, well, wait a minute now. How's that? Well, why would they do that? And then you start to think, okay, given the salary cap situation that they have and his production the last couple games, and the fact that they probably don't want him on the roster next year at the number he'd be at, maybe they would listen. Now, again, I don't know the veracity of those types of reports. What I would say is that you just gave up 2 first-round picks for Micah Parsons, and you have a general manager who always wants as many swings at the plate as possible, like his mentor, Ted Thompson. And not only does he not have as many swings now, on top of that, he doesn't have any, ahead in the count type swings, right, in the first round for the next 2 years. So I would not be surprised if that is a factor in their willingness to listen. Now, again, I don't know, what is Rashan Gary worth? A couple games ago, he was leading the league in sacks. The last 2 games, he's been on a milk cart. So I don't know, what would you get back for him? Is somebody going to be willing? What are they going to give up for him that would make it worth their while? That they're also saying, okay, well, that means now we're gonna count on Lucas Van Ness, who's got a foot injury. We're gonna count on JJ Enagbare. We're gonna count on Brenton Cox, who's on IR, to pick up the slack and take advantage of the Parsons effect. I don't know. And then the other part of it is you've got Christian Watson coming back, and then I know Jaden Reed. I haven't gotten to watch the whole thing. I have it open in one of my 72 tabs on my browser, which everyone makes fun of me for when they see me working on my computer, of Jaden Reed and the video of him, going through surgery and whatever else that Rosenhaus has put out. He's going to be back eventually. Would you really still be willing to take calls on Romeo Dobbs? He just got 9 targets in the game. But I just find myself wondering if Goody, given what he gave up to get Parsons, is more interested in giving up players to accumulate future picks than he otherwise would be. And so I don't know the answer to that, Jen. I don't think you get better when you're chasing a championship by trading away good players.
Well, and also the whole Jeff Hafley saying, hey, Micah Parsons' presence is going to free up Rashan Gary to make these plays. And to your point, the drop-off then becomes a little bit more significant if it's not Rashan Gary out there who is supposed to be getting to the quarterback. So
does it? I mean, in the last 2 games, he has not done that, right? And Micah Parsons has been there.
Double teamed, manhandled, as we have discussed. Yep.
Yeah, maybe they think that they can get the same type of effect and get the contract off their books and acquire picks.
But to your point, buy low, sell high, right, Jason? Maybe, right, hey, Rashan, could you have a couple of good games before we try to get value back for you?
Can have one of those Antoine Odom 5-sack games, and then the next day you've been traded to Cleveland.
Value's never been higher. Jason, we appreciate you hanging out with us this morning. Have a great one. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, everybody, take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde can be heard on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee right here after Jen, Gabe, and Chewy each and every weekday.
Cheez-It, the legendary snack cracker. It's now available as a frozen pizza. Each crust, a giant, original Cheez-It flavored cracker crust that's square-shaped. Of course, that's what Cheez-It is. It's an ultra-thin, super crispy, perfect amount of Cheez-It flavor for the crust. So then on top, what are we talking about? Well, this is from Palermo, so those toppings are going to be incredibly poured on there. It's going to taste fantastic because that's what Palermo's does. They've got Italian 4 cheese, cheddar jack supreme, and pepperoni for the Cheez-It frozen pizzas. And has one of the shortest bake times. So you'll be from freezing to cheesing in as few as 8 minutes. Find Cheez-It frozen pizza in your favorite grocer's frozen pizza section.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
along southbound 41 continue from the county line to Good Hope Road, and then just a little bit heading through the Zoo interchange. Heads up on northbound 43 in Ozaukee County as you're making your way past Mequon Road. We do have a broken down vehicle off on the right shoulder, a little bit of a distraction there. On the southbound side, we do have delays basically from Good Hope Road down past Bender Road. Westbound 94 is heavy from the 25th Street area to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound's got your brake lights coming on around 84th Street, on and off all the way through the Stadium interchange to about 35th. Traffic is brought to you by Safe Plow. When winter hits Wisconsin, Safe Plow keeps driveways and businesses clear with no-tolerance snow removal. They handle the blizzard so you can handle your business. Visit safeplow.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, partly sunny skies, a slight chance for an afternoon shower, a high of 64. Those slight chances of showers continue for tonight. Mostly cloudy skies with a low of 56. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats. Now through Wednesday, save on 5 to 15.75 ounce selected varieties Frito-Lay Cheetos, Fritos, Smart Food, or Tostitos dip, 2 for $7. 64 ounce or 8-pack selected varieties Juicy Juice, 2 for $5.50. 8.2 to 18 ounce selected varieties C-Pack frozen seafood, $5.99. 6 count selected varieties Bay's English muffins, $2.99.
I am starving.
Oh, no. Never walk into a Century when you're hungry.
Unless it's free sample day. Ooh, pizza, yes. I'd love to try that one.
My husband thinks he can make a meal out of grocery store samples.
Need to wash this down. I think I see someone handing out samples in the liquor department.
Geez, can we focus on our list?
What's this?
It says you can win 2 tickets to Green Bay's home game against Chicago on December 7th.
Or autographed footballs, or a 4-pack of Green Bay Hall of Fame tickets.
You have to enter through Century's Facebook or Instagram.
I'll be entering this on my phone in the deli next to that cheese sample station.
Enter by November 12th.
Your neighbors are talking. Did you see their siding? Yikes. That drafty window? It's basically air conditioning. From nature. Don't be the scary house on the block this fall. Call Exterior Pros and Baths and get $3,000 off your roofing, siding, windows, or bath project. No tricks, just treats. That's 262-800-4274 or click your way to extpros.com. Fall in love with your home again. Trust the pros.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
This is an ad by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp therapists have helped more than 5 million people worldwide on their mental health journeys. Moments in therapy, like the right question or a safe space to cry or a small win, can really change lives. This World Mental Health Day, we're celebrating the therapists who have helped millions of people take that step forward. If you're ready to find the right therapist for you, BetterHelp can help you start that journey. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/timeout. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout.
Hey, it's Kyle Wallace. It's October, and this is when the weather really starts to shift. The mornings are crisp, and the evenings are cooler. And right now, with Universal Windows Direct, buy 2 windows, get 2 free, no limit. And to make it even easier, you'll get 0% financing for 3 years. Receive an extra $500 off your entire home improvement project when you schedule this month. Call 414-410-2000 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com to book your free estimate today. And like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Yes, that would have been much worse than what ended up happening.
Finally got the which would be worse and what would be better. Finally, we figured it out.
You can't just be showing your junk on national TV.
It would have got a lot of clicks.
On 94.5 ESPN.
If you're
looking to bring more beauty and organization to your home, I cannot recommend Closets by Design enough. And look, it doesn't have to be a closet. Yes, they are fantastic at bringing organization to those spaces in your home, but you got a mudroom, you got a pantry. Closets by Design can handle that as well. I worked with Doug and his team in Mequon. They brought a beautiful closet to my home, and it really helped me with my anxiety. It was so cluttered. It was so overwhelming. I couldn't even walk in there without getting anxiety. And now it is a organized space that brings me peace. Even though they're a national brand, Doug and his team, they're right here in Mequon. They have a beautiful showroom that you can visit. No obligation in-home consultations, custom designs, and the best value in the industry. If you are like me and you're ready to get organized, call Closets by Design in Mequon and tell them Jen from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy sent you. If you missed our conversation with Jason Wilde just a few moments ago, you missed us talking about the ESPN Insider report from Jeremy Fowler that teams are interested in Rashan Gary and Kingsley Engabare. Now, you may be saying, why in the world would the Packers do that? And I got to be honest, that's kind of where I am on this thing as well. We have talked about Chew, how the defense came out of the gate gangbusters, and how we thought, wow, they are going to ride this defense all the way to the Super Bowl this year. And then over the last few weeks, it has not been that. And Rashan Gary's numbers are similar to what we were saying about the defense. There has been an underwhelmingness to his performances recently. Do you see any situation where the Green Bay Packers would say, yes, we would like to move Rashan Gary, and here's what we would do it for?
Well, I think it all depends on how bad the Van Ness injury is. If it's just going to be a game or two, I could see him move. Look, I'd like to get the guy off the books, right? He's not going to be here next year at the number he is due. I mean, what would they get? Would they get a fourth for him, Gabe?
I mean, if
I don't see anything less than a fourth.
If that's the offer, I think Goody says no. Like, you got to blow him away. Especially with the injury, you know what I'm saying? With the injury to Van Ness. Because I would also be worried that unless you get... Because remember what happened when they traded away Rasul Douglas for a third-round pick, and Goody's like, it was just too good to say no to. Right. And then they get hot, and you're like, it would have been nice to have Rasul Douglas down the stretch here, even though they won a playoff game and did that. I would just be worried that you would be sending a message of, hey, we believe in you. We just went and got Micah Parsons. And then if you ship off Rashan Gary, I would be wary of, wait, do they actually believe in us? What are they doing up there? Why are we trading away a starting defensive end for a draft pick right now?
Oh, it's a Josh Hader situation.
Yes, I would be a little bit worried about that. Like, this guy has 4.5 sacks. I understand the last 2 games haven't been good. I would be worried about what it would do to the locker room, I guess is what I am saying. Unless you got, like, a first-round pick, which they're clearly not going to get.
So it's not just Lucas Van Ness, Chew. It's Brenton Cox Jr. on injured reserve. It's Colin Oliver on the physically unable to perform list. I guess it depends on how confident you are in Baron Sorrell and his ability, even he's a rookie with limited snaps, that he could step into that role effectively.
But in regards to the locker room, Gabe, and this happened in our day, it's like there's a handful of players sitting around going, is Gary stealing? You talk about 20-something million for what he does? Oh, my God. So it kind of works both ways there.
Yeah, but what if he goes out and has 2 more sacks and leads the league in sacks again? Then I don't think you can accuse him of stealing.
All right, let me ask you this. Who's more impactful this year, Van Ness or Gary?
Gary.
I would say Van Ness, man. Van Ness, if he just develops a move, he is, I was going to say Aaron Campman light.
I was about to say that's high praise. Aaron Campman, very underrated.
But there's the light. I mean, he's playing better.
Sure, but
Would you agree?
Rashan Gary was doing a lot early in the season too. Like I don't know if that's just I don't know if it's just like recency bias that we saw Lucas Van Ness get the latest sack, so he's been more productive because he hasn't over when you take all 5 games into consideration.
My thing is, what do they do with him next year?
Probably have to restructure.
What if he doesn't? Then he's gone. Right? Do you think he'll restructure?
Depends upon how well he plays this year. Like, if he gets to double-digit sacks for the first time in his career, no, he will not restructure. But if he doesn't, with Micah Parsons on the other side, I think the Packers have a really good case of, hey, look, you've been getting these one-on-ones. We'd like you to stick around. We think you can be a solid player. You just can't play at this number because you weren't able to go out there and be the difference maker we thought you were.
Looks like the Packers would save $10 million by moving off of Gary in a trade. Does that incentivize you? Does that give you a little bit more like, ooh, that's interesting?
It's not enough money to make me go, hey, let's trust Engabare. Let's trust Lucas Van Ness with a foot injury. The foot injury honestly kind of throws it all in there. And I think you've got to get a high enough draft pick to go, hey, I couldn't say no to this. Right, like that's where I think you have to, because if you just trade him for a 4th round pick, that's just wait. What are we doing? We're punting on a guy who started every single game for us this season for a mid-round pick for a guy who's going to be picked on day 3 of the draft.
I know, but history has told us that the farther he gets into the season, he's a guy at best. So I have no confidence that the guy's going to, all right, now we'll get back to sacks to get to the double. I have no confidence.
But he's also the best guy of the bunch.
Where's he been?
The last 2 games?
Where's he been?
Yeah. I mean, but the problem is, Chew, he's the best of the rest of the options, because I wouldn't say that Lucas Van Ness has been any more than a guy this year either.
For me, it's a depth thing. For me, it just comes down to the depth of the defensive line. And the problem is right now you just don't have it because of the injuries that we have mentioned, because, Baron Sorrell is a rookie and you're going to give him limited snaps right now. You're not going to throw him into the fire. So for me, it's like you need depth on this unit as the season goes on. He's been reliable, even if he is just a guy. There's a part of me that says, to Gabe's point, unless you blow me away with an offer because you're more desperate than we are at that position, it ain't happening. That's what my gut tells me right now.
Do you guys think Goody consults with Hafley and LaFleur, or he just does it?
I'd like to think that he does. I don't know if he does. I'd like to think that there's collaboration there.
You think so?
I mean, the reporting around, and maybe because the Micah Parsons trade is so big and what the compensation was, the reporting around that was that Goody didn't want to make the move unless everybody was on board. And he wanted to make sure that LaFleur was good with what they were losing in Kenny Clark to get Micah Parsons. Now, obviously, everybody was on board, and they went and got Micah Parsons. So that showed that there was some collaboration there when there have been times where we've wondered about the collaboration for sure.
Well, do you doubt that Goody consulted with Joe Barry Carroll over the Rasul Douglas? My guess is Goody just did it.
Well, I mean, probably.
I know.
Probably. But I would like to think that, and again, maybe I'm just completely wrong, Chew. I'd like to think that Jeff Hafley has more respect in that building than Joe Barry Carroll did.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know. I think if Van Ness was healthy, I think
it's easier to consider if Van Ness is healthy.
Yeah, I agree.
They've been so mysterious around what his foot injury is that it's hard to know if he's going to be available.
To me, it's great they reached out because it seems like the Packers have a surplus of pass rushers. But contending teams don't give away passers even if they have too many.
That's true.
There's
one of those things you can't have too many of.
Yeah, there's just no situation where it would make sense if you believe you're a Super Bowl contender to trade away, even with the looming contract stuff. That's we'll figure it out in the offseason type of situation. And great, maybe we'll call you back in the offseason and we'll try and work something out. But you need as many good guys as possible, and not just from injuries an aspect. It's more fresh bodies is going to make them more productive.
Well, and I know we're talking defensive end versus defensive tackles, but Carl Brooks had 51 snaps against the Bengals. Warren Brinson had 19. Nazir Stackhouse had 5. Again, the defensive line as a whole is bringing in some of these guys that you don't necessarily love seeing out there, right? Carl Brooks, do you want Carl Brooks playing the most snaps at defensive tackle for your team? No, but that's the Devontae Wyatt injury.
I was about to say, as of right now, he's the one I trust the most out of the healthy group.
So, again, we're 2 different positions in defensive end and defensive tackle, but when you talk about the defensive line health as a whole, they're sort of in it right now, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, and so there's a part of me that is like, healthy body, even if you're not the biggest Rashan Gary fan, there's value in making sure he's on this roster.
And when everybody's healthy, I mean, we've all been excited about dropping Van Ness down and having those 3 on the field at the same time, which that does take away if you were to trade away Rashan Gary.
800-990-3776. Let us know what you think. Josh is going to put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Infinity Exteriors poll as well. Just asking, Rashan Gary's name has been mentioned in this Jeremy Fowler report about teams interested in him. Would you trade him if you were the Green Bay Packers? Let us know. Got a lot of stuff to get to in the show. Obviously, we'll continue talking about your Brewers taking on the Dodgers this evening, Game 3 of the NLCS. But I also want to get to this interesting story from the NFL about New York calling penalties. Weird, right? We'll get into that as Jen, Gabe, and Chewy rolls on.
Bucks basketball is back, and it's time to play. The Bucks open up the regular season coming up next Wednesday, October 22nd against Washington. Watch Miles Turner play in his first regular season game for the first time as a Buck. Nothing compares to the energy of Fiserv Forum, the raucous crowd, the freakish slam dunks, the buzzer-beating three-pointers. Get in on the action with the ticket plan that works for you. Learn more at bucks.com/tickets.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN. Now that we took care of our little brother to the south.
He's swinging a bouncer to short. Ortiz has it. And the Brewers are going to the championship series. They take 3 of 5 from the Chicago Cubs. And the Brewers have a date with the Dodgers.
NLCS is in queue for the Magic Brew.
It is back. Hap at the track at the wall. Bye, baseball. Long live Andrew Vaughn.
Brewers playoff coverage on 94.5 ESPN is presented by Noro Spine Center of Wisconsin.
We all have someone we know or love that has been affected by some form of cancer.
No matter how well you love and support them and try to be there for them, you can never really know what a person is feeling after hearing the words, "You have breast cancer."
Only another person that has been through this experience can really understand what it feels like.
ABCD, After Breast Cancer Diagnosis, is a Milwaukee-based organization known around the world.
When someone calls ABCD, they are matched with a mentor who is a breast cancer survivor of similar age and has the same type of breast cancer who can provide hope when people need it the most.
Kessler's is excited to announce that we've designed 3 new Hope pendants to honor breast cancer patients, survivors, thrivers, and caregivers.
100% of the net proceeds, along with an additional donation from Kessler's, will support ABCD when you purchase the symbol of hope.
You can find a link with more information about ABCD, along with all 3 modern designs starting at just $75 in sterling silver and $598 in gold, online at KesslersDiamonds.com.
I've been to my fair share of green and gold games, and the best way to get there is with Accutrans Group. At Good Karma Brands and ESPN Milwaukee, we use Accutrans Group to get our partners to and from Green Bay, and it's always first class. From stadiums to concerts and tailgates, your game day fun starts the moment you step on board. Sit back, relax, and let their professional chauffeurs handle the traffic while you enjoy the ride. Accutrans Group is Milwaukee's premier ground transportation, available 24/7 with sedans, SUVs, limos, vans, and buses. Book today at AccuTransGroup.com.
I'd like you to listen to a little question and answer session with James Imaging Systems client Preston Clark. He oversees IT services at Creative Business Interiors. Preston, why James?
I do feel like that we are partnered, again, as opposed to being sold to.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
If I need service, they're here almost within 4 hours every time. I've never had an issue where I'm like, where is that guy?
That works for you and the business, right, Preston?
Yeah, exactly. I don't have to worry about it.
Plus, there's IT-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation from James Imaging Systems.
I've got information that I can then go to my superiors with and say, hey, here's how we can save a little bit of money.
And
then I kind of look like the hero, too.
Want to be the hero in your office? Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
It's a bird bash at Potawatomi. Thursdays, you could win up to $50,000 cash in the Bird Bash game show. Just play with your rewards card this October for a chance to win. Wouldn't you like to rake in a huge pile of cash? Bird Bash, only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info at potawatomi.com/birdbash. Must be 21 years old to play.
Imagine your home totally organized. At Closets by Design, we specialize in providing affordable, custom-built storage solutions with built-ins and beyond, from garages to new home offices. Our experienced designers work within your budget to design a solution fit perfectly to your needs. Get 40% off plus an additional 15% with 18-month financing. Visit closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to get started. Let's get organized together.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I'm right-handed, but like
I'm with Gabe here. Yeah, I feel more confident in my left hand here, just cupping right now, other than my other hand cupping.
Mostly because I also.
I get a lot more work out of the right hand.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Looking for localized banking solutions and a strategic partner? Fifth Third Bank has been shaping the future of businesses for 167 years. And for the last 15, right here in Milwaukee, we offer industry-specific expertise, local decision-making, and extensive experience to help you navigate the ever-changing business landscape with your business in mind. At Fifth Third, we're big enough to provide sophisticated solutions and expert guidance, yet empowered to make local decisions and build strong community connections. Experience the commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
I like this reaction that came in from Ian in East Troy. If they trade away Rashan Gary, they are admitting that they are a year away. Do you agree with that sentiment, Shu?
I don't know.
Great job.
Well, I don't. Because I think I've said in the past that it's all in this year because of the cap issues. What do you guys think?
Yes.
I just think this is it.
The answer to the question was yes.
Hey, get off my back. I was concussed last night, okay?
You were concussed last night. That's
I was concussed. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yes. A little late.
And he gave you the answer.
Yeah.
Mike in the 262 says, I wouldn't trade Gary as of now. Yes. He's one of the best DNs against the run, and we all know stopping the run is a foundation of any good defense. I would keep everything as is. And to the point that Mike is making here, they have been very good against the run this year. I think that has been a pleasant surprise for this defense. Are there other areas where you're going, hey, what the heck, guys? Can we get a turnover here? Can we, I did see this, though, that I thought was interesting. I saw it in an ESPN article. Packers are the only team in the NFL that have led by double digits in every game this season. Did you guys know that? The only team in the league that has led by double digits in every game this season. That according to ESPN.com.
I don't know if that makes me feel better.
I know. It doesn't really translate.
Which is the record?
Yeah.
3-1-1?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like, if they were 4-1, sure, but that means they've blown 2 of those leads, Jen. That's what it means.
Yeah.
That they have done this 5 times, and twice they haven't been able to hold
And you thought this was going to be an offensive stat. See? Look at that. Look how we made that fit with the conversation we were having about the defense. Yeah, that is interesting.
Doesn't make me feel good.
Packers are the only team in the NFL that have led by double digits in every game this season, and yet they have a loss and a tie on their ledger. We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Still a lot of stuff to get to in the second hour. Stick around.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Got a couple of accidents that are affecting your ride for sure. Westbound 94 at Moreland Road. The right lane is blocked, so backups are stretching all the way back to the Zoo interchange. Before that, we do have delays from about 27th Street through to Mitchell Boulevard. The other accident is on the Rock Freeway heading northbound. It is off on the left shoulder, so it is out of traffic, but the delays are definitely coming in from before Moreland Road all the way to this accident scene. The actual accident scene is right about at Sunny Slope, just past Sunny Slope Road, so be careful if you're heading through those areas. Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner, dedicated to helping businesses do business better. Visit jamesimaging.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, partly sunny with a slight chance for an afternoon shower, a high of 64. Those slight chances for showers continue tonight, mostly cloudy skies, a low of 56. Weather is brought to you by Infinity Exteriors, dedicated to saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Mother Nature can be unpredictable. Your roof, siding, and windows shouldn't be. We install peace of mind with transparency and quality guaranteed. Visit infinityexteriors.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
This college football season, show your school spirit every time you pay. Introducing college-branded Venmo debit cards. Rep your team on and off the field with custom school designs that let everyone know who you root for. Whether you're tailgating, grabbing snacks for the watch party, or celebrating a win, you can unlock 15% cash back at ESPN. 1 free year of Perplexity Pro and more. This college football season, score more with the Venmo debit card. Get yours now in the Venmo app. Learn more at venmo.com/collegecard.
Max cashback varies. Terms apply. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank, N.A.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Michaela's Mobile Spa, Michaela! Michaela got a quick business insurance quote from Progressive and chose from over 30 customizable coverages. Sure, it helps she's her only employee and does literally everything, but while others would rest on their laurels, Michaela was hard at work saving big. So take that, hypothetical other employee who doesn't exist. Be your own Michaela. See if you could save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage is not available in all states or for all vehicles and coverage selections.
This is Brian Balaga. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN.
94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Pitch to him. Fly ball deep right. It's going to win the game. Abreu's going back and watching it sail. It's a grand slam. Oh, my goodness. Christian Yelich. Swing and a miss. He gassed him up. He blew him away. 102 miles an hour. Breaking ball. Hit high. Hit deep. Left center. Bye-bye baseball. The legend of Andrew Vaughn keeps growing. A grand slam. You have got to be kidding me. Flair, shallow center, base hit. Marte's being set. Here's the throw from Perkins. It is going to be in time. Game over. Blake Perkins says goodnight. And a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Would you like fries with that? 12 in a row for the Crew. Fly ball left field. Back and gone again for Yelly. The Brewers lead it 9-8 in a game that should be played in the upside down.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamora. Here's Jen Latta.
Stomp your feet, clap your hands. You're part of the team sitting in the stands.
Brewers in action tonight, of course. Game 3, NLCS against the Dodgers in L.A. Still no official word on who will be taking the mound for your Brew Crew. But, of course, if we hear so over the next hour or so, we will pass it on to you. Not over, gang. Still a lot of reason to believe in the Brew Crew as they take the series to L.A. I want to get to this interesting story with the Green Bay Packers. The trade deadline is still 2 weeks away, November 4th, 4 p.m. Eastern, Gabe reminds me. And so there are going to be mentions of these players. We talked about how Jeremy Fowler mentioned Rashan Gary and Kingsley Ngabare. And now, of course, there is also a report out there about Dontavian Wicks and there being interest in him from the New York Giants. Gabe, you were like, well, now that is something I might be, might happen. But beyond that detail, there was an interesting post put out by Christian Watson's father talking about the dynamic of the wide receivers and the play calling and the way that the Packers have chosen to use their weapons, their pass catchers, right? And Dontavian Wicks liked the post. Now, I didn't read it as being critical of Matt LaFleur. I read it as this is just the reality. This is just what the wide receivers deal with. This is just how they call plays. This is how they run the offense in Green Bay. But it was interesting that Dontavian Wicks also saw it similarly, or at least I am assuming that based on his liking of the post from Christian Watson's father, Gabe.
And it's a little long, but here I feel like putting the context out of what the post was that he reposted on Twitter is worth it. Are you all just dumb or stupid? Because this is just...
That is not how you should start a post. I just want to put that out there. It just puts people on the defense right away, Gabe.
How Christian Watson's dad posts most of the time. Unless you change the play caller, you can bring whatever wide receiver you want to Green Bay, and he will get the same production to catch the ball as the ones who have already been there since A-Rod left. Some of you going to look, some of you who are going to be looking stupid as bleep as soon as the Packers decide they're going to let hit free agency, then they go to teams that actually throw them the damn ball. Then they will go crazy, especially if it's Wicks. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with Matthew Golden. Green Bay doesn't throw the bleeping ball enough for him to do anything. The question is, what is wrong with y'all, having watched this philosophy now for 2 seasons and 4 games, yet still think there's an issue with players when it comes to passing/receiving volume? So that was the post that he put out there, basically saying, hey, this is the way it is. And if other, again, some of these guys get opportunities, especially someone like Dontavian Wicks, if they get an opportunity with different teams, they're going to put up the stats that everybody is looking for, is basically what the post said.
He's a moron. God, I never thought he was that big of a moron when he was in training camp for 3 days with us.
Did you get a real good chance to know him? Yeah, get to know him real well?
Not really. He wasn't there long enough. But what is the Packers offense has to be in the top 10. What do they want? Yeah, play calling at times hasn't been great, but this is not a team that is going to throw the ball 80% of the time. Right?
Chewy, just to answer your question, Packers are 8th in points, 9th in yards.
So they're 8th offensively with a lot of offense to go. What does he want? God, you know what bothers me too is these parents that live vicariously through your kids. Just stay in the background, cheer your kid on, be proud of them, but shut up. Shut up. We don't need this distraction. Their offense is fine. We're probably critical because we think they can be better, but you're in the top 10 5 games in. They're going to get better. Jordan Love is playing very good. He's just got to eliminate some of the stupid stuff.
Jordan Love has been very good. Yes, I think we're all in agreement that Jordan Love has played really well. And again, some of it is his makeup and some of it is I am resigned to the fact that Jordan Love is going to have some risky throws in every game. But not a lot, but a few. It's going to happen. I'm resigned myself. And if it doesn't happen, it's a pleasant surprise for me. And that's fine. That's just sort of the way I'm going to approach all of Jordan Love's performances and all of his games for the Packers. But are you intrigued at all, Gabe, that Dontavian Wicks liked that post by Christian Watson's father? It did compliment him. It was basically saying that if he were to go to another team, like the Giants, which are interested in him, according to reports, that he would probably see his volume increase. He would see his usage increase. He would see his targets increase.
I guess there's no direct. It's just a post saying, hey, this is the way it is in Green Bay. Like, this is in expecting something else, which I guess I would be one of those people that he thinks is stupid. Expecting something else is just not realistic because this is how Matt LaFleur does it, and Matt LaFleur continues to step up to the podium and say, yeah, this is the way we do it here.
But I would also make the argument that you thinking that it should be done differently isn't all that bizarre because if your blueprint was to go out and just get serviceable wide receivers, yes, I understand the idea of spreading the ball around, but you didn't do that this year.
Nope.
You went out, you took a big swing, and you drafted a wide receiver high in the draft. And for that reason, I guess I'm inclined to think that the blueprint has changed. You bring in different variables. Maybe you're not going to just do the same thing that you've always done. I guess that's the position I'm coming from when I think like you.
My thought was, okay, you've been doing this for the last 2 years.
Because you had to.
In hopes that somebody would emerge, that somebody would go, hey, I'm worth throwing the ball more to, and nobody's really necessarily done that, right?
Yeah, but what team, Gabe, in the league with 2 of their better receivers out could weather the storm like Green Bay does? This is what they do, okay? They're cautious, right? Because you feed these guys for Watson and Reed, who's out, and you still are in the top 10. I don't think there's another team in this league. If you're losing Justin Jefferson and I don't even know who their third is there, you lose those 2 guys, you ain't going to be in the top 10.
No, but I would argue that that's why they're not in the top 5.
It's early. It's early. They're playing without 2 of their better weapons. Once they get them back and everyone's on the field,
what would change, Chew? What would change with those guys coming back? If all they do is spread the football around, everybody's got to eat. Like, if those
I want to see. You know what I want to see?
Necessarily change.
This is what I want to see, Gabe. I want to see Watson and Golden on the field at the same time with Kraft, and maybe Reed. okay? Because then you have two guys. You have to play it differently with guys that run 4-3s, okay? You can't play cover 3 because he's going to pick a side and go, ooh, Baruba.
But how much are those guys going to play together if you've got to get snaps to everybody else? 3 times? You can do that 3-4 times a game?
And Chewy, you have also been critical about the lack of strategic setup plays within the Matt LaFleur offense, right? Is there any part of you that thinks that if they sort of honed in on a Matthew Golden or honed in on one, that they could do that a little bit more, right? That you're running certain plays that are intended solely and exclusively to set up future home runs?
Yes, and the other thing, I agree. And I haven't seen a lot of boots this year, right? There haven't been a lot of boots, and I think you should run more screens. How we did it back in the day is to constantly change personnel. So that defensive coordinator on the other side is uncomfortable, right? 4 wides, regular personnel. 3 wides, 1 tight end. 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, 1 back. And just constantly, because that guy's got to be, all right, nickel, dime, let's go base, bigs, and it's just another way to distract them. And they have enough guys. They're not great players yet, but they're very good. It's kind of like what we had. We had 1 great player on offense.
You undersell.
We had 1
You
great
undersell the great players you guys had on that offense, and I am sick of it. I am sick of yourself. I'm sick of you underselling yourself. I'm sick of you underselling Free, underselling Robert, underselling Keith. You had a lot of really good talent. Terry Mickens wasn't on the same level as the top 2 guys that I just mentioned. Jeff Thomason wasn't on the same level as you.
No, but I think they got good guys. Once you get Reed back and Watson. And Watson got better last year. I don't know how he's going to respond from the ACL, but he was getting better. Reed's kind of a gadget kind of guy, but then you get Golden comfortable, and Dobbs is just your kind of possession receiver.
Free led the league in receiving in 1998.
Fair.
1,400 yards in 1998.
I just think it's way too critical, and you can't. I mean, Look, Holmgren didn't have it all the time. He didn't have it. And when he didn't have it, he'd pass it to Sherm. I can't tell you how many times play called in the huddle and we'd be like, what the fart was that? Like, Brett, check out of it. Okay.
How many coaches do you think, because when you told us that, I can't remember the first time you told us that, but it was relatively recent, that Holmgren, if he felt like he didn't have it, would pass it off to Sherman Lewis. And that was the first time I had heard anybody say that, Chew.
Yeah.
And you guys obviously were extensively covered in the 90s. How many coaches do you think nowadays
do that
and would have their ego in check to do that?
I don't think a lot, I mean, the only one I can think of, and I totally disagree with it at the time, was when McCarthy gave up the play calling.
But he did it very publicly, and that was a permanent thing. Like Holmgren passing it off to Sherm for a couple of series or a half or whatever he did.
Yeah.
Like, clearly the next game, everybody understood, I'm assuming, that Holmgren was going to be calling the plays the next game. Well, I just don't have it today.
Yeah.
Let's go to Sherm. But whoever you're playing the next week, Holmgren was going to go back to calling the plays.
Absolutely.
And that's that's not what McCarthy did. McCarthy just gave up the play calling completely.
Gabe, it's kind of like golf. You don't always. How do you go from shooting a 74 one day and the next day you play again and you shoot an 88? How the hell does that happen? You don't always have it. I mean, it's got to happen this quickly. It's got to happen like that.
Here's what I want to nail down before we move on here, guys. Do you interpret Dontavian Wicks liking the post as him being frustrated with or having issue with the way that the offense is being run?
No. I do not.
I think Wicks knows he's gone.
Yeah.
He knows he's gone,
in
so
2
he
years,
can do that.
Yeah, either he gets traded within the next 2 years or in 2 years he's going to be one of the odd men out. He's not getting a contract extension in Green Bay.
Aren't receivers just always upset with how much they're being used unless they're getting 15 targets a game?
Sometimes even then.
And we have talked on this program about when we praise Matt LaFleur and we say Coach of the Year, we have talked about how managing the egos of a wide receiver room and getting everybody to buy into this plan, this dynamic of we're going to spread the ball around. There's not going to be one guy who is featured in this offense. That in and of itself deserves praise. That in and of itself, being able to manage that, deserves accolades, a feather in his cap.
To be quite frank, I don't know if I'm all that interested in a wide receiver who isn't upset about how many targets he's getting.
Yeah, but you know what it all translates to, Joshy? Translates to dollars. That's it. Because everyone wants to get paid. Everyone wants to get paid, so if they feel they're getting snubbed, then you do things like that. Then you like it, you know?
But that's what I'm wondering. And again, I'm not being critical of Dontavian Wicks if he feels this way. I just wanted to know how you were interpreting him liking the message that was put out there. Because my gut says that, yes, he would prefer, like the wide receivers that you are referencing, Joshy, the prototypical, the standard narrative surrounding that position, to be getting the ball more. But there is a part of him that probably is like, but we're winning football games, right? And to your point, Chu, we are a top 10 offense in the league. And so you go through that, wrestling, you go through that conflict of conscience, and you go, yeah, maybe whenever I go, wherever I'm going to go, it'll be different. But it is what it is, if you will.
Yeah, I think that, and again, players are smart, Chu. He looks around the room and he goes, well, right now, in terms of snaps, I'm behind Rome. I'm behind Golden. Well, now Christian Watson, he's back practicing, probably behind him.
Yeah.
I don't play the slot, so whenever Jaden Reed gets healthy, probably behind him. He's probably looking around going, yeah, my opportunities here are limited.
Like, if you got in a room with him, Jen, and you asked him, do you want to be traded? I guarantee he would say, yes. Please trade me. Please trade me.
Because a trade would be him being featured in an offense, potentially.
Correct.
Again, we're talking about the Giants here as far as the team that is reportedly interested in him.
Their wide receivers
translates
are
to dollars.
not good.
Which translates to dollars.
Yes. We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Top 8 at 8 coming up next. But first, guys, we've enjoyed having Professional Construction Inc. help with our home projects. And listen, we've had them out at our house a number of times. I've told you how they helped us with the woodpecker holes in our siding. I told you how they helped us with our balcony that was leaking water into our kitchen. And, of course, they remodeled our entire basement. The PCI team can also be here for you and your family. Mike and Michelle operate a family-owned company. They believe in building relationships and doing exceptional work on your projects. They've been in business for more than 20 years, and you don't stick around unless you're dang good at what you're doing. PCI is hiring experienced carpenters as well. You can learn more about those opportunities or see their work at professionalconstructioninc.com. That's professionalconstructioninc.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Yeah, we got some issues going on right now. We've got an accident on the northbound Rock Freeway off on the left shoulder, just past Sunny Slope Road. So watch out for the delays coming into that area. The good news is we had an earlier accident at Moreland Road on westbound 94. That actually has been cleared out of the way, but we do have delays, pretty hefty ones as well. The delays on westbound 94 are coming through the stadium, but then from the zoo, solid pretty much to Moreland Road. Eastbound, backing up from Highway 16 all the way to about Moreland Road. And then we've also got a broken down vehicle on the ramp from 894 northbound to 94 westbound in the zoo. The left lane is blocked with this broken down vehicle, so that's something to keep in mind. That's going to start to affect your ride on the bypass. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, partly sunny skies, slight chance for an afternoon shower, high of 64. Tonight, those chance of showers continue, mostly cloudy skies, a low of 56. Weather is brought to you by Avondale Roofing, trusted since 1988 to keep you and your roof covered, no matter the weather, rain or shine. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more. Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee. Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your Green and Gold Fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. Why Z-Bart? Because you don't want rust holes in your expensive vehicle. Let Z-Bart keep the rust away with professional rust protection. Only at Z-Bart.
As the Packers gear up for their Week 7 matchup in Arizona against the Cardinals, they're preparing for two quarterbacks. Regular starter Kyler Murray missed last week's game due to injury and may miss another one this week, leaving veteran Jacoby Brissett as the option. LaFleur on the challenge, preparing for two different quarterbacks.
Both those guys have different skill sets. Obviously, Jacoby went in there and was very productive. I think it was their most productive game up to this date. And we all know the type of player that Kyler is, because he can make the on schedule and the off schedule.
Regardless of who's under center for Arizona, the Packers 6.5-point favorites.
This has been your Green and Gold Fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee.
Why Z-Bart? Because you have a manly truck that you do manly things with. And you don't want the truck bed getting all beat up. You want Rhino Liner by Z-Bart to keep your truck bed man-proof. So man up and ask for Rhino Liner by Z-Bart.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga for Comfort Awnings. I reclaim my outdoor space by having Comfort Awnings install a motorized retractable awning so I can enjoy the sun and get relief when I need it. Sensors are also available that detect strong winds and rain to extend or retract your awning. They even protect against UV radiation so you can safely enjoy the outdoors. Family owned and located in Burlington, Comfort Awnings expertly installs custom awnings that fit your home and style. Right now, you can receive a free motor for your automated awning with your order. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com.
Something exciting is happening at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. On the second floor, you'll find the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, Milwaukee's destination for bold flavors, fresh sushi, seasonal entrees, and cocktails crafted with care. Start your day with a breakfast that fuels you, stop in for dinner that sparks conversation, or linger late into the evening with drinks designed to inspire. With flavors and drinks for every mood, the Studio is the perfect place to gather, celebrate, and connect. Be boldly social. The Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, now on the second floor at St. Kate the Arts Hotel.
After a crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. At Gruber Law Offices, we have the knowledge and experience to make sure you're protected. And we're here to help whenever you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Thanks, Ernie. I'm going to Venmo you that money right after the show.
You can't. You don't know how to use Venmo.
Made my workload much less. But Ernie,
you don't know how to
Ernie,
do it, and I don't know
does
how to
it ever?
it. So
Yeah.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Something exciting is happening at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. It's on the second floor. It is the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails. It's Milwaukee's destination for bold flavors, fresh sushi, seasonal entrees, and cocktails crafted with care. Start your day with breakfast there, maybe catch a lunch, or linger late into the evening with drinks designed to inspire. Flavors and drinks for every mood. The perfect place to gather is the Studio, now on the second floor at St. Kate the Arts Hotel.
The top 8 at 8.
Name something that follows the word pork. You fine.
Huh? One category.
Name something people take with them to the beach. Turkey.
The top 8 answers.
The first thing you buy in a supermarket. Turkey.
The top 8 at 8.
A food often stuffed. Turkey.
The top 8 at 8 on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Name Popeye's favorite food.
Chicken.
Show me chicken!
The top 8 at 8 on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
season in 2019.
I didn't guess them officially.
All
right,
we
let's
have
go.
So far, I think we should just
Go.
Carvelous Talking text line this morning. This is a yell at the radio kind of morning. I'm sorry about that, Andy. Chewy is going to apologize any moment.
I think it's more you than me.
Dump truck.
he just backed over you with that dump truck.
What in the world? You're on with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Can you complete our top 8 at 8 list? Just one guess, one answer remaining.
Ryan Braun.
Ryan Braun is incorrect.
800-990-3776. Tucker and Wausau, you're up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Can you complete our top 8 at 8 list?
Yep, he hit one against Colorado and then the Dodgers, Orlando Arcia.
Orlando Arcia hit 3 home runs in that postseason.
Nice.
3 home runs in that postseason.
He was my next guess.
On the list. Yes, I'm sure he was.
Yeah.
Tip of the tongue.
Again, I was reading your lips as you were guessing over there, and I was like, he doesn't have it. That's all right. Good list by you, Gabe. That was very good. And yes, amongst all of the frustration, and again, that varying degrees, of course, about the Brewers being down 0-2, there have been electric moments, to your point, about like these home runs. Jake Bauers had the home run. Who was the other guy? I feel like there's one other home run I'm forgetting from this postseason. You said the Contreras.
Contreras, Vaughn, Jack's gone twice, deep a couple of times.
Durbin?
No. Oh, it's Terang.
Yeah, and Terang had the insurance one. Mm-hmm.
Who starts in left, Gabe?
I'm guessing they roll with Bauers because he still put together some pretty quality at-bats, and you got a righty on the mound.
Yeah.
It's a bigger outfield. You got a lot of room to cover out there, but I think you need to put together the best offensive lineup that you can, which is why I haven't seen this anywhere. I'm wondering if Monasterio gets his first start at short, just to try to do something with the offense. As good as Joey Ortiz has been, and he's a tremendous defender, I wonder if they go, hey, we're willing to sacrifice and try to get a couple of at-bats for Mona, and then we can always put Joey in late when we need those defensive. Same thing with Bauers. We've got plenty of defenders on the bench. We can put those guys in late, but early in the game against that righty, against Tyler Glasnow, who's been so good, I wonder if they continue to try to put out their best offensive lineup they possibly can, which would include no Joey Ortiz tonight. But again, that's just a wild guess on my point. I haven't seen it anywhere, so I have no idea.
Just out of curiosity, Chu, what is better? The Brewers' performance thus far in the NLCS or yours and my performance this morning on Top 8 at 8?
Sadly, you guys crushing.
You think? Did I go over?
I don't think it's particularly close, and it's you guys.
Yeah.
Not even close. Like, Chewy, you said you went over. The Brewers have gone over.
Yeah, but at least I'm taking 3 pitches and striking out.
Yeah, I feel
Jen is like, oh, my God, get in the box and hit, for crying out loud.
Couple pitch clock violations.
Yeah, timeout.
3 guesses correct. What in the world type of curve are you grading on?
I mean, it took some kicks in the rear, but...
Yeah.
Little.
Hey, you saw this one.
Richie Sexton ever play in the playoffs?
Weren't you there?
What about John Jaha?
I didn't even drink at any of the games either, so you know it's bad. At least I could have an excuse if I was like, I threw back a couple of pops, you know?
One of the great things about American Family Field is X-Golf inside AmFam Field. And again, right now, today, it's open. Good place to go check out and just see the beautiful view that it has of the field. But it is open year-round. And if you are going to be hosting a holiday party this winter, there's no better place than do it than X-Golf inside of American Family Field. A unique space unlike any other in Milwaukee, of course, has the 7 state-of-the-art simulators, so you can do that, play some fun games with everybody in the office. They'll set all of those up for you, but it's also just a great space to go with great food options. They've got a couple of full bars there as well. It is a unique space, and if you haven't seen it, go on an off day. Go on a Brewers off day. Check out X-Golf inside American Family Field or book a tee time today. XGolfAmFamField.com.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Still have an accident on the Rock Freeway northbound, just about past Sunny Slope Road. We do have everything off on the left shoulder, and tow trucks are on the scene, so should be out of there pretty soon. But watch for the delays from Moreland Road to that point. We've also got some backups on westbound 94 coming out of the Zoo interchange all the way to Moreland Road. There's a broken down vehicle there, but that one's out of traffic. We do still have this broken down vehicle on northbound 894 to westbound 94 in the Zoo interchange. It's a broken down vehicle blocking the left lane, so that's going to be affecting your ride there. Eastbound 94, watch for delays from 84th to 35th Street. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. John Neal and his team know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, partly sunny skies, a slight chance for an afternoon shower, a high of 64. Tonight, slight chance of showers continue. Mostly cloudy skies, a low of 56. Weather is brought to you by Safe Plow. When winter hits Wisconsin, Safe Plow keeps driveways and businesses clear with no-tolerance snow removal. They handle the blizzards so you can handle your business. Visit safeplow.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Kevin Moret here from Mentality. Life's a relentless competition, and you might be losing without even knowing it. With testosterone levels plummeting 25% in just 2 decades, you're likely operating at a fraction of your potential. Your kids sense it when you're too exhausted for playtime. Your wife notices when that spark fades. Here's the harsh truth. Without addressing low T, nothing works. Diets fail, workouts fall flat, but there's hope. Mentality's FDA-approved treatment restores testosterone by an average of 30%. Don't let low T rob you of life's precious moments. Start at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Your neighbors are talking. Did you see their siding? Yikes. That drafty window? It's basically air conditioning. From nature. Don't be the scary house on the block this fall. Call Exterior Pros and Baths and get $3,000 off your roofing, siding, windows, or bath project. No tricks, just treats. That's 262-800-4274 or click your way to extpros.com. Fall in love with your home again. Trust the pros.
Thinking about buying or building a new home? Start with a mortgage pre-approval from Great Midwest Bank and experience a state of tranquility. At Great Midwest Bank, we offer fast approvals and flexible options with experienced loan officers who understand the local market, because they live here too. Whether you're breaking ground for new construction or buying that dream home just around the corner, we'll guide you every step of the way. Bank with confidence and start your journey at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Jen Latta here from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Fall in Wisconsin means football season, crisp evenings, apple orchards, and pumpkin patches. But it is also one of the best times to sell your home. With serious buyers looking and fewer homes on the market, you could score a deal before winter hits with the We Sell Group. Don't delay until chaos hits in the spring. The We Sell Group is ready to give your home a home field advantage so it gets sold this fall. The We Sell Group, helping Wisconsinites score big in their next chapter. Get started with Rob and Nick at wesell.kw.com.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
They say a full marathon is the ultimate test. For me, it's more than a race. It's a milestone I once thought impossible. Michelle Smallman here, and I'm running my very first marathon in New York City with the support of Gainbridge and Gainbridge Assist, powered by Parity. Together, we're empowering girls and women through sports and education, with grants to 32 organizations in 21 states. Every step I take is for the finish line and for the next generation chasing their dreams. Here's to 26.2 miles and a future with no limits.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
If it's gotten to the
I
point,
don't think shower.
What do you mean? What do you mean you're not going to take a shower? You just told me you're offended by your own BO.
No, but I think it's deodorant, Gabe. Showering does nothing. It really doesn't.
You are wrong.
Because
you must be showering wrong.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Did you know Great Midwest Midwest Bank is celebrating 90 years of serving southeastern Wisconsin homeowners. That's right, 1935 to 2025, a long history of helping families right here in our community. I've experienced it myself, not just with my mortgage, but with everyday banking. Checking, savings, 24/7 mobile banking, all so convenient, but still comes with that personal touch from real people who understand your real needs. That's why I trust Great Midwest Bank. Find a location at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank is your simply local equal housing lender and a member FDIC. As you take a spin around the NFL and see some of the stories that are dominating the headlines, and we've talked a little bit this morning about the trade deadline being just a few weeks away, an interesting story coming out of the Detroit Lions camp. If you watched the game this weekend, you probably saw, and I know some of you guys did, obviously, it was the Lions versus the Chiefs, so a big game. Jared Goff had a touchdown pass caught from, I think it was David Montgomery, on a 4th and goal trick play, and the play was called back because Goff never got set before going in motion. But the uniqueness of this play, guys, was that it was not called back by one of the officials on the field, by one of the referees at the game. No. According to Dan Campbell, this was overturned by the big eye in the sky, overturned from New York. Take a listen to Dan Campbell.
I want to ask you one, and I want to go back to it. I don't want to harp on, just like we had talked about earlier, but when we asked you, did that call come from New York about overturning the Goff touchdown? Are you guys inquiring as to why you were told that, or inquiring as to what happened in that situation, why they went back a minute and a half later and threw the flag?
Yeah, we asked on all of that. We asked on all of it, and I can't tell you any of that.
But it was an official that told you it came from New York?
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, Dan Campbell being very cautious with his words, I assume concerned about a potential fine by the league if he says something that he shouldn't about the officiating. Gabe, what was your reaction to not only the assertion that a call came from New York, but then Dan Campbell kind of couching his and maybe not being as forthcoming as he was earlier about, hey, that was a call that was the official told me that came from New York?
Yeah, it's a situation where we've had this conversation before with the Sky Judge. We know the Sky Judge exists, and we know there have been times where the officials, after further discussion, well, I guess technically that's true, but not discussion amongst each other, discussion with somebody in New York who happened to watch this replay. Here's what we're going to go with on the field. The problem here is the lack of transparency of when this is being used and when it is not being used. Because the problem here for me is there was no flag initially thrown on the play. And it wasn't one of those situations where the officials get together the way they do sometimes with intentional grounding of, hey, was he out of the pocket? Okay, was a receiver in the area? And they kind of discuss that. And then after you can clearly see them discussing on the broadcast that they throw the flag and end up calling intentional grounding. This was not that. It was a touchdown that was scored, and then a minute and a half later, they decide, nope, not going to stand because Goff has to become set because he started under center. Nobody called that on the field. And the fact that an official told Dan Campbell that it came from New York is troubling to me because, yes, this is ultimately an entertainment product, but you want to have as competitively fair game as you possibly can. And if New York is getting involved on this call, how come they're not getting involved on every call? And not knowing when the Sky Judge is or isn't involved, I think that's a problem. I think operating in cloak and dagger when somebody else who isn't on the field is calling the penalty. Look, if you've got the technology and you want to use it, that's fine. Just let us know when you're using it so everybody can prepare accordingly.
It doesn't bother me. As long as they get the call right, it doesn't bother me one bit, because I think that's ultimately what you want is to get it right. So,
but then how come you don't use it on every play?
That's what I was just going to say. Thank you very much for stepping in there. That's exactly what I was
talking about. Well, let me ask you this.
We talked about Micah Parsons. We talked about Micah Parsons this week and how LaFleur's frustrated with how he's getting manhandled.
Why hasn't the New York called in?
Yeah,
phone. Why haven't they jumped in and been like, hey, that was holding?
Well, hold on. Let me ask you this. And I didn't see the play, but if they got it right, then I don't have a problem with it. Did it happen because all touchdowns are reviewable? Is that why they did it?
All scoring, but But again, it didn't come from somebody on the field. It came from New York.
No,
I mean, possibly
know that.
too, because they decided to take a quick look at it. But like,
but that might explain it away, Gabe. Let's say he was on the 5, gets down to the 1. Would they have not reviewed it? Did the only reason New York reviewed it is because every touchdown is reviewable before the extra point?
Okay, so then scores are reviewable. That is true. You're not going to review a clear touchdown the way it happened. There was no debate on whether he crossed the line or not. There was nothing for them to look at. The difference here is all plays being reviewable is, did he catch it before that he went out of bounds? Did the ball make contact and did it move?
It's not an all aspect of the play type thing.
Did the guy cross the line in his tush push?
Well, and there was a play on primetime a couple of weeks ago with the Chiefs where they initially threw a flag for offensive pass interference, decided to pick up. How come New York didn't chime in on that?
Right.
Which would have been an obvious offensive pass interference.
Would you guys be complaining if they didn't call it and it was clearly a penalty?
Well, somebody would have. I mean, certainly. And I think that's the other underbelly that we probably have to mention, even though I hate mentioning it, is that with so much money being invested in these games from a gambling standpoint, to your point, Shu, I want them to get it right. But then I want them to get it right all the time.
Yeah, my problem isn't that they got this call right, Shu. It's the process in which they got to get there. Because if you're using this for this specific play, why don't you use it on every play?
It's the parachuting in and the parachuting out. And now, as a sports fan, if I'm watching a game and my team gets a wrong call, I'm going to wait. Okay, any second now, New York. Where are you at, New York? Hey, New York. Hey, New York. Isn't this why you're there, New York? So that you can correct or you can sort of oversee the job being done by the officials on the field. And here's the next layer of it. Doesn't this undermine the authority of the officials on the field? Like, if all of a sudden now you're like, at any moment, New York can jump in, and we're using New York colloquially, obviously. We're talking about, as you mentioned, the sky judge, the eye in the sky. Any moment they can just jump in. Now, doesn't it take a little bit like, hey, I don't need to catch the call. New York will catch the call. You know, I feel like there's a whole bunch of a dynamic thing here that is also at play.
Chewy, what if it was like on an in-breaking route? And the ball's on the 20. In-breaking route, guy catches it at the 30. Clearly a push-off. Officials miss it. He races into the end zone.
That's a subjective call, though. That's the motion. What he did is not subjective. It's under the rules. It's black and white.
What if
subjective?
What if he just shucks him and throws him to the ground, and the official doesn't call it? It's obvious to everyone.
It's still subjective, Gabe.
Okay, then why
I don't want him getting involved in holding, pass interference, all those type things. But when it's
not subjective. But some offensive pass interference is not subjective. I go back to the call that the Chiefs got, where the guy was more than a yard downfield, and he set a pick, and it's an obvious pick. And they initially threw the flag, and they decided, nope, he was actually within a yard, but then he was at 2 yards because you know what I'm saying? Like that is, hey, at 1 yard or 2 yards, that's black and white. Where were you at? They could have overruled that one. They didn't.
I guess it's because it's a pre-snap penalty. I don't have a problem with it that the referees on the field miss.
And I mean, we're still circling around the truth of the matter.
Okay, how come shouldn't the refs parachute in every time they run the tush push and somebody moves early and they don't call it on the field?
Correct. So there's plenty of
yeah. I mean, I see your point. Yeah.
And the point here is because there are no clear defined rules and reasons, they aren't using it for subjective calls yet. This is the first time
I won't like that.
This is the first time they had done what they just did. So this is new territory. This started happening a couple of years ago, and we were all going, wait, where is that change coming from? Why is this call being changed before anyone reviews it? Why aren't the coaches having to use their coach's review? And now we've broken a glass ceiling in terms of where it's allowed.
And there's two other things that we need to mention here as it relates to this situation specifically. One, the referee afterward, guys, contradicted the assertion that New York was involved. The referee said, no, there was no assistance on the play from the replay booth upstairs or the league office in New York, which directly contradicted what Dan Campbell is saying one of the other officials said to him on the field. It's the only reason he even knew that New York might have been involved in making the call. And then, two, there is the assertion that the league is dealing with that the Chiefs get preferential treatment. Whether you believe it or not, whether you think it's fair or not, that is a reality, that is a narrative that exists in the NFL. And to your point, Gabe, two of those plays that you mentioned, including this one, were associated with involving the Chiefs. And so there is a little bit of that, you just want to make sure everything is above board. You just want to make sure there's transparency. You understand when and who and how and why. And this was the one time where we were like, wait a minute.
And that's the thing, too. If they want to use this for the procedural stuff that you were just talking about, I'm fine. That's cool. Mm-hmm. Tell us. Tell everybody so everybody knows. Because now, again, if New York just parachutes in whenever they want.
Hold on. Also,
do you want them to tell you every single time? Because there's clearly times when a ref marks the ball and then resets it, and that's coming from the sky judge.
I'm not
so
saying,
they don't have to challenge it and slow the game down to a crawl.
Correct. I don't Chewy, what I'm saying, I'm not saying that I want the ref to turn on his mic and tell me at home. I want to know going into the game when the sky judge and cannot.
We got to go to break here, but the last thing I'm going to leave you with is the massive bets that came on Jared Goff placing first touchdown. And the potential for their major partners in the gambling world to lose lots of money if he would have scored that first touchdown. That makes it even more suspicious.
We should have been playing the X-Files music underneath that entire segment, guys.
I've turned Chewy off. We got to go to break. We're too late. Do a live read, please.
Connie's Frozen Pizza, the cornmeal dusted crust, all natural ingredients. What's not to love? And for just $5.99 at Sendix, you can enjoy pizzeria quality without that pizzeria price. Stock up, turn your kitchen into a pizzeria. On sale, $5.99 through the 21st. If you got a hunger, again, this is just fantastic. If you're going over to Sendix, get that Connie's Frozen Pizza. It's different with the cornmeal crust. The crust is fantastic. If you haven't tried it, rush over to Sendix. $5.99 right now in Connie's Frozen Pizza.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
This is Mike and Michelle Grau from Professional Construction Inc.,
a.k.a. PCI.
Around here, they're the same thing, like Friday fish fry and a good old-fashioned.
We're the Waukesha neighbors you see at the grocery store. Friday night football games, and yes, in your kitchen, making that space better than ever.
For us, PCI isn't just a name. It's family, it's community. It's putting our heart into every build and remodel.
PCI, for all your construction needs. Visit professionalconstructioninc.com.
Hey, Doc, nice office. Quick question. If you had to choose, would you give yourself a root canal or run payroll?
Run payroll, no question.
Seriously? Well, have you run payroll before?
Paying my team with Gusto couldn't be easier. Gusto gives me unlimited payroll runs, next day direct deposits, and automatically files my taxes. Saves me time.
Wow, that's nice.
Over here, Doc. Can I run payroll too?
Choose payroll without the pain. Visit gusto.com/radio to sign up for free.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos. Fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play.
Your fantasy roster is set. The Smack Talk is heating up, and this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing the ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sports book for sports fans. Make the connection today with ESPN Bet Fan Center and the ESPN Fantasy app. ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
Holding. Defense.
The ref totally blew that call.
Oh, I'm sure he'll make the right call next time.
It's too late. It cost us the game.
Well, it's just one game.
That loss eliminated us from the playoffs.
Oh, the playoffs are on so late. Now you'll be well rested.
Okay, I need you to stop talking now.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Any of those things because it's like, I'm sorry, I'm burping up my apple right there. That's what that was. I wasn't pausing for effect. I literally was burping my apple.
Can we just go to break?
No.
On 94.5 ESPN.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. If you find yourself facing challenges, struggling, needing assistance, BetterHelp can help. They have incredible therapists, 30,000 therapists actually on their ledger. It's the world's largest online therapy platform. They've served more than 5 million people globally, and it works with an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 for a live session based on 1.7 million client reviews. What more do you need to know that BetterHelp is actually helping people navigate the challenges of life? Our listeners get 10% off their first month. Just call pound 250 and say the word time out. That's pound 250 and the keyword time out. And speaking of timeouts, we got to take one. Wilde and Tausch is next on ESPN Milwaukee. Have a great day, everybody.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties